This is Brave Words, true stories told well. I'm Adrienne Ferreira.
And I'm Rob Carlton. This week's storyteller is Nadia Townsend. Nadia is a writer, actor, film and theatre maker, as well as a renowned screen dramaturg. You've seen her work on the screens played out by other people. She's worked with HBO, Marvel, Netflix, Stan, Warner Brothers. Most recently, her work on Black Snow has been well regarded. Boy Swallows Universe, remember Eli Bell, that extraordinary performance? Well, he was working with Nadia all the way through that. She's worked on Bump, Thor, Love and Thunder, Mad Max, Fury Road and Surviving Summer. She continues to make theatre with some of the great theatre makers all across the country.
This is Nadia's second time on the podcast. Her story is called Living the Dream, and this was recorded live at the Lion's Den in Gosford.
I'm speeding down a 4-lane highway somewhere west of Western Sydney. The Gregory's map laid out amongst plumes of pink taffeta. My hatchback coughing smoke as I change gears. Being a fairy is serious business, and I'm running seriously late. Motherfucker, I say as I crane my neck, trying to find useful street signage. Sweat rolls down my furrowed brow, threatening to dislodge glitter from my eyelids and temporarily blind me. I flip open my Nokia phone and call my boyfriend. He's an artist, a chiseled jaw, talent. On paper, he's a keeper, but we're in a noxious bind. His latest sculpture, two people simultaneously pushing each other away whilst intertwining, just sold for a good price. He answers the phone, instantly annoyed. I ask him if he can look up the destination and help me navigate my way. You should have figured it out before you left the house, he tells me. I thank him for his insight and hang up. There's two things that make me panic. One is running late, and the other is not knowing where I'm going. My chosen occupation of actor is not well suited to the not knowing. I'm 23 years old and already feel like I've caught a one-way train to nowhere. My phone rings. It's my fairy boss. Motherfucker, I say, and I flip my phone out while changing gears. Hello, I sing. My fairy boss, Fairy Crystal, is all moonbeams and polka dots until you cross her. A woman of about 40 whose voice is powdery and high-pitched, perpetually locked in sprite mode. She smokes rolled cigarettes and makes you wait while she counts party cash handovers, eyeing you as she pays out your meagre share, reminding you in a look that you're lucky to have been chosen. She's the Dawn of Fairies. She's cornered the Bondi market and she's moving her soldiers out west, and I'm her front runner. I've never seen her in civilian clothing. The mother's threatening not to pay, she growls. A cop car pulls into the lane next to me. I drop the phone in my lap and yell into the ether, "I'll be there in 10, max!" The petrol gauge lights up. Empty. Motherfucker! Standing at the petrol pump in my tutu, trying to ignore the wolf whistles, I watch the dollars and cents flip over, the traffic moving like toxic salmon up the highway. I pick remnants of that morning's boiled egg off my pearly corset. Glitter sparkles on the edges of my vision. And what do you want to be when you grow up? I hear it from the echoes of my childhood. I feel queasy, and it's not just that my hangover is kicking in. I'm angry. Why keep blinding kids with fairy dust? Why not just hit them with the hard truth, the bricks and mortar of life? Don't sprinkle magical bullshit all over them and over the harsh realities. Encourage them to dream big, fantastical dreams that just wash away in the first downpour. A few months before I began schlepping it as a fairy, I had landed a dream job as part of the main cast on a TV series. Not a soap, but an ABC drama series. A rare unicorn of a job where people playing my fictional family felt like my real family. Every day that I got to step into that character's boots, I felt like I had purpose. Shortly after we started filming, my mum died of cancer and my dad had a major stroke. The only thing holding my fractured world together was that job and a story I could care about more than my own. At home, my artist boyfriend found my occasional overflows of grief inconvenient. The show got canned and they told us via email. My fictional family disappeared as quickly as my real family had. I take my Gregorys into the servo and the attendant cross-references it with a more recent map. You can't find it because it's a new suburb, he tells me. Ha! See? I'm not an idiot. I stab my finger at an invisible foe. Right, then left, second left, right. The attendant continues without emotion while I down a large bottle of water. I thank him for his diligence. Do you have a toilet? No. Fuck. I head for the door, repeating, right, then left, second left, right. Miraculously, I arrive at a cul-de-sac and the universal sign for children's parties, balloons on the fence. I do a U-turn and I head away from the house because fairies are supposed to fly and it's important that the children don't see me getting out of a hatchback. I pull up around the corner and my bladder starts to scream. I can't walk in there late and head straight for the toilet. What kind of fairy would that make me? I look at the empty water bottle laying on the passenger seat and I run through my options. In a squat in the back seat of my hatchback, surrounded by taffeta, perched over my empty water bottle, my legs begin to shake. And despite my best efforts, the stakes are too high. I can't do it. Fuck, I say. I climb into the front seat. Time is against me, so I decide to park opposite the party house. I gather my goddamn fairy best self and load up with my basket, limbo stick and stereo. At the door, I put down my stereo, I take a deep breath, and as I'm about to knock, the mother of the birthday girl opens the door with a sour face. "I'm Fairy Blossom," I announce with a flourish. The mother's eyes narrow. She has a wine in one hand and a baby in the other. "You're late," she says, and pushes the baby towards me. "You won't be getting a tip." This is Oriel. "Is this the birthday girl?" I ask in a high-pitched voice. "Oh, she's a baby, really." "Yep, she is," replies the mother, walking off. I juggle the baby as a swarm of little fairies gather around my legs. It takes all my theatrical training to hold the moment. I conjure their attention with the story of how I got there, how I ran up a rainbow and slid down into a pile of clouds and travelled on the wind like a bird. "Do you know what I saw on my way here?" I ask them. What? They chime. "Well, let's see. In the ocean, could I have seen a whale? Did you see a mermaid?" "I did. I saw a pod of dolphins and a single mermaid sitting on a rock. She had long, sparkly hair and she was singing a song that was so beautiful I just had to stop and listen." The birthday girl pukes on my shoulder. I rub it into my costume and continue with the story. A few older boys dressed in various superhero outfits have gathered at the edges and eye me suspiciously. They have weapons, one of which is a potato gun. "You're not a fairy," the one with the gun announces. The younger ones fall silent. I take stock of the boy, dressed as Batman. We stare each other down, a saloon-like standoff. "Do you know what happens when someone doesn't believe?" I ask my fairy friends. "You die!" a little girl screams with a tad too much enthusiasm. "Yes, I die. I fall asleep and I slowly turn into a flower." I believe, the little fairies chime. I smile benignly. I've held the stage in heaps worse shows than this, and this little turd thinks he can unhinge me. I turn back to address my fairy friends when whack! The elastic of my wings snaps against my raw skin. I turn sharply. "You're not a fairy," says Batman. He moves closer. His hand is on the trigger of his potato gun. "How about you go fuck off?" I tell him under my breath with a smile. His jaw drops. I turn back to my fans with a flourish and I begin my origin story. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see he's dobbing on me, but I don't care because I'm using all my energy to concentrate on not peeing on the floor. I take the opportunity to reach into my basket and throw a heap of blue glass stones into the backyard. They're magic elven wishing stones, I tell them. Go and find yours and take some time to think of a special wish. I flit off and interrupt the baby birthday girl's mother to ask where the toilet is. She points with the wine glass. You're not getting a tip, she reminds me. I really don't give a shit, I say before I have time to censor myself. I rush towards the toilet. I bend my wings on the way in. I struggle to find the top of my undies in time. With my skirt billowed around me, I finally let go. Breathing deeply, I enjoy a long moment of relief. I wish I could sit there all afternoon. The person staring back at me in the mirror on the opposite wall looks like she stumbled out of an underground rave. She looks young and sad and a little broken. Oh dear, I say. I want to put my arm around her and tell her it's all going to be okay, but I'm not sure that it is. My friends keep telling me I'm not grieving properly, but I'm not exactly sure what they want me to do. Take a hike in the Himalayas, embark on some epic quest to slay my demons, become a better person, accept that my beautiful, irreplaceable mother is gone and there's no magic in the world that will bring her back. No spell that will restore my dad to his former self. I know that if I could just do something special with my life, everything would right itself. Fucking hell, I say under my breath and make sure that my tutu isn't tucked into my undies. On exit, Uncle intercepts. Drink, he says, blocking my path. I would love to knock back a few, but his leer ushers me towards a more responsible decision and I decline. I like fairies, he says, stepping a little closer. With an idiotic smile, I duck and weave to escape him. I wrap it up with a little limbo and pass the parcel, and when my party duties are finally over, I'm handed an envelope of cash, $3.50 for the fairy don and $100 for my efforts. The mother of the birthday girl is about to point out, yet again, that I will not be receiving a tip, but I cut her off by highlighting how dedicated I am to my work. Do you mind keeping them away from the window? I don't want them to see me getting into the car. It spoils the illusion, that I flew here. She laughs, a dismissive snort. And in this long and arduous day, it is the one thing that makes me feel truly small and miserable. Just keep them away from the window, I tell her. The kids crowd around me as I attempt an exit. One of the girls, she pulls on my skirt and she tells me that I'm the most beautiful fairy she's ever seen. I thank her and I really mean it. I can feel tears welling in my eyes and I swallow them with a bright smile. I need to fly now, fairy friends. Adieu. We want to see you fly, they scream. Oh, but a fairy can't fly when you're watching. I scan the room for the mother, desperate for some assistance, but she's nowhere to be seen. Okay, inside you go. I push them back like cattle with my limbo stick. Laden with stereo and basket, I head towards the car. I wave the children off, but they remain at the window, pressing their little faces to the glass, hopeful. I do the only thing I can. I stay committed to the illusion. On the other side of the car, I throw my arms in a flourish and cry, poof, as if creating a magical cloud. I duck down and climb in through the passenger door. Like a bee nuzzling in the centre of tulip, my costume engulfs me. I crawl across to the driver's side, head bobbed down. I kick the car into gear. I sneak one last glance towards the window. I see the fallen faces, the confusion. That thin veil of magic has disappeared. The dream has crumbled. The innocence gone. I drive away through the stark streets of this new suburb, a book of useless maps on my lap, and wonder how the hell I'm going to find my way home.
Thank you, Nadia. That was such a funny and such a sad story. So beautifully composed. We get this such a strong sense of your grief in that story, struggling to survive, to do what you got to do, to draw on all your training. But also what I've found with Nadia's work is she is really preoccupied with this theme of truth and illusion. I mean, she's from a showbiz background and she became an actor herself, and it's something that she really grapples with, this idea of what's real, what's honest, and the spectacle of the theatre. And I think that's just one of those moments in time for her that it's so evocative. We can see her, we can feel the sticky fingers of those children, and the lack of compassion from the other adults in that story is just really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. Yeah, I mean, we don't know the truth of that mother with the wine and the sneery face and things like that, but it's hard to imagine that woman wrestling with a sense of purpose the way that Nadia did. So you've got this sort of sense, and the leery uncle. So you've got this 23-year-old artist arriving, trying to be a fairy for the kids.
You can tell she's really good at it too.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
really committed.
Yeah.
And so you get all these different sorts of types and people, and of course there's a few different layers of grief running through the story. There's the grief of losing a mum, there's the grief of a father that's not what he was. And there's also the grief of a young actor suddenly discovering that what they thought they were chasing might just not be real. And that's a very devastating thing for a 23-year-old to sort of wake up and discover.
And the powerlessness that you feel when you're at that age and you're relying on someone to give you a job, in this sort of situation, a lot of creatives, they go on, they're compelled to create their own works and contribute their own sort of stories to the realm. And I love it that Nadia's turned to this kind of storytelling now at this stage of life. She's got so many bangers.
Oh, there's just so many wonderful sentence constructions too. There's that wonderful moment where she's singing, where she talks about the mermaid on the rocks singing with the pot of dolphins, and in the very same sentence, presumably just separated by a semicolon, she suddenly got puked on the shoulder by their baby.
It rubs it in.
Rubs it in. And the egg, a little bit of egg on the taffeta.
Yeah, the show must go on. We've got this real workaday sort of attitude, which is wonderful. But
combined with her foul mouth.
So foul. So true. So honest. I know. She's a beauty. So thanks for that one, Nadia.
Thanks so much.
And thanks for listening.
Bye.